like to welcome you to another mini edition of the program, Tango with ST. I'm your queen of talk, Stella Ene Eyang, simply Stella. Just the other day, I was talking with a friend and I said, please calm down, because to me, he was just overreacting. And he snapped and said, please don't tell me to calm down. You don't know what I'm going through. I said, okay, I'm sorry. I said, calm down. My sincere apologies. And I walked away. I've come to a stage in life where I now tell people that I pick my battles, meaning it's not everything I react to. Yes, it's not so easy, but I tell you. Why do I tell people that? It's because you just expend all of your energy needlessly and pointlessly on every unnecessary thing that you ought not to expend your energy on. Sadly, you become so worn out that when it's now time for a real battle, you will not have the kind of energy to withstand that challenge. As human beings, we really have to learn to control our emotions whenever we are provoked by someone or a situation. When we're angry, we are naturally prone to say or do things that 90% of the time we get to regret later. There are times we really get provoked, but when we walk away without saying or doing anything irrational, we may not feel good at the initial stage, but I tell you, you'll be happy you did. Interestingly, someone may tell you, wow, you shouldn't have just walked away. You just messed up big time. You should have said this or you should have said that. You should have done this or you should have done that. Oh man, you messed up. If I was in your position, I would have dealt with him, or I would have said this or would have done that. I know a lot of us can relate, right? But then, have you ever thought of what terrible thing could have happened if you didn't walk away? Most of the times, we just react, without thinking of how bad can this thing get. We're just following our emotions. But then, if we don't learn to control our emotions, 90% of the time, like I said earlier, we get to regret. We've seen situations where people have died some avoidable deaths. I call them avoidable because sometimes two brothers fighting over money or one thing or the other, and one dies in the process. Or a situation where you see two people fighting in traffic, fighting because one other person scratched the car of the other person while overtaking, just a little scratch, and a fight. Turns out one person dies in the process. Some women have called their husbands to meet them in traffic or somewhere because someone hit her car. At the end of the day, the man ends up in the hospital paying bills that he did not anticipate. So what are we saying here? That situation would have been averted if she just walked away or if she handled the matter differently. What about a situation where you have an exchange of unhealthy words over an issue? Words are really deep. You end up saying things that you ought not to have said in the first place. Words so hurtful that even when issues are resolved, the relationship is patchy and it will never be the same again. Sometimes they don't even settle. It remains like that forever. Now you understand clearly why we need to learn to control our emotions. I must confess that it's not an easy task to say, control your emotions, control your emotions. But as we grow older, we just get to realize that many battles that we fought would have been solved with just a little of, okay, I'm sorry. We wouldn't have had to fight those battles. And a lot of people have scars from such battles, unnecessary battles. There's nothing wrong with reacting. There's nothing wrong with reacting at all. But the problem is, when reacting, do not overreact. Let's try not to overreact on every issue that comes our way. I must confess, it's not an easy task to just walk away. I know that saying it is very easy, but we really need to learn how to control our emotions. But with continuous practice, we'll definitely achieve it. As we get older, we get to realize that life is not all about give, 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 give on every situation. Sometimes just ignore. Someone says something that you don't like, sometimes you just ignore. Even if you have to respond, you can say it in a way that would make the person feel sorry for saying it at all. I pray that you'll be able to react reasonably to everything that comes your way, especially hurt, pains, and things that would naturally make you snap. I'm hoping that after listening to this, learn to control your emotions. And believe me, you have to learn to pick your battles. It's not everything that we react to. It's not every stone that is thrown at you that you just send back the same way. Sometimes you just throw those things away and move on. Most of the time, those are just mere distractions. So just learn to control your emotions. Anger is a terrible thing. If you practice, like I said earlier, how to control, you will find out that it's a walk in the park. Thank you for listening. I'm still your queen of talk, Stella N.A. Yang. See you next time. Bye for now.